Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayan Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Hudirayet Nasta Prayesvabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishna Swadam Upagati Dharma Jnana Dibisaha Kalo Nasta Dishamesha Puranar Kudunoditaha. So today we will read from Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 7, chapter 1st, entitled The Supreme Lord is Equal to Everyone, text number 3. Iti naha sumaha bhaga narayana gunam prati samshayaha sumahan jatas tad bhavam chettum arhati tinaha sumaha bhaga narayana gunan prati samshaya sumahan jatas tadbhavam chettum harati itinha sumaha bhaga narayana gunan prati samshaya sumahan jatas tadbhavam chettum harati itina sumaha bhaga narayana gunan prati samshaya sumahan jatas tadbhavam chettum harati. iti, thus, naha, our, sumahabagha, O glorious one, Narayana Gunan, the qualities of Narayana, Prati, toward, Samshayaha, doubt, Sumahan, very great, Jataha, born, Tat, that, Bhavan, your lordship, Chetumharati, please dispel. Translation, and purported by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. O greatly fortunate and learned Brahmana, whether Narayana is partial or impartial has become a subject of great doubt. Kindly dispel my doubt with positive evidence that Narayana is always neutral and equal to everyone. Purport. Since Lord Narayana is absolute, his transcendental qualities are described as one. Thus, his punishments and his offerings of favor are both of the same value. Essentially, his inimical actions are not displays of enmity towards his so-called enemies, but in the material field, one thinks that Krishna is favorable to devotees and unfavorable to non-devotees. When Krishna finally instructs in Bhagavad Gita, Sarvadharmam parityaja mamekam sharanam vraja, this is meant not only for Arjuna, but for every living entity within this universe. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjala Shalakaya Chakshur Umilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragunatam Bitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vijakam Bitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Brindavaneshware Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam karoti bachalam, pangum lam layate girim, yat kripata maham vande, Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam, Shri Chaitanya Mishwaram. Hare Krishna. First of all, I would like, before asking your blessings, to ask forgiveness for any offenses I may have done towards any of you, knowingly or unknowingly. Because without that, it's practically impossible to say something about Krishna, because Krishna will not give the intelligence to do this. So, excuse me, and please now the blessings are welcome. Thank you so much. So many learned devotees are here, and Prabhupada disciples, Maharajas. So never forget that everyone flies according to his own abilities. So don't expect too much. Be merciful. Thank you so much. So, Here we have a very interesting subject matter, Krishna, very interesting, especially for the devotees. Also for the non-devotees, because also the atheists, they are always wondering about God, Is he existing, is not existing? And just because, they are always talking about him, that is a proof that he is existing. But here we are dealing with a peculiarity of Krishna, his partiality and impartiality. So Srila Prabhupada fortunately gave us his purpose, because otherwise for us it would be very difficult, if not absolutely impossible, to enter into the depth of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Because the Srimad Bhagavatam deals about Krishna mainly. This is the ripe fruit of the Vedas, the Amala Purana, the scripture that is describing Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And one of these particularity is that he is partial and impartial at the same time. Srila Prabhupada is explained here that these two apparently different qualities or way to act, they are in contradiction one to another. But whatever Krishna does is for the benefit of the soul, of the conditioned soul. So, as Srila Prabhupada ends in this very short purport, actually when I knew this morning that I had to give the class, I said, I hope there is a very long purport so I don't have to say something that might, be not right. But actually this is a very short purport. But anyway, let's try to... so Srila Prabhupada is mentioning Sarvadharma Parityaja. That means, that Krishna gives the mercy to everyone. Everyone has the opportunity to go back home, back to Godhead. But of course, we have to do certain things in order to do that. First of all, we have to desire. This is the only thing that as a soul we can do. We can only desire. Everything else is done by either the three modes of the nature or the mercy of Krishna. So if we want to go back home, back to Godhead, then we have to follow the Bhakti Yoga as prescribed by, as advised by Srila Prabhupada, our founder Acharya. Otherwise, we cannot be neutral. I was talking with some friend and we were just joking, we cannot be neutral. I said, okay, I don't know yet, if surrender to Krishna, I just neutral. No, you're not neutral. You're just, under the influence of material nature. So either we serve Krishna or we serve Maya. We have a choice. But Krishna is very merciful. And although if we don't want to go towards him, in his form of Lord Chaitanya, he gives the mercy anyway. This is the greatness of Krishna. Srila Prabhupada said in one occasion, and for sure more other occasion, if you will know how Krishna loves you, you will faint. And that's true. I didn't realize it yet because I'm still awake. But actually, this is the reality. This is the reality. And anyway, as a Sankirtan devotee, I had so much mercy directly from Krishna. And I knew that it was him because, my capabilities are what they are. I know that is not false humility. And things happened in such a way that was obvious that there was someone who was helping me. And that someone is Krishna, because he is impartial, but he's also partial. When he sees that someone is not very much qualified, but he's endeavoring to do something, then he said, okay, little help. And then, of course, in Sankirtan we are in first line, so we see that there is a lot of reciprocation towards Krishna, because at least me, I don't know about you, but I'm helpless when I'm in Sankirtan. I have a full trolley and don't know if I have to go to the right or to the left. And so I say, Krishna, help. And Krishna always helps, always. This is a phrase that is carved in my heart. I was in a treasure hunt, transcendental treasure hunt, in Villa Vrindavan in Italy. And there was a very old and a little overweight lady that she was struggling to catch her team. And she was so-called running and saying, Krishna always helps. Krishna always helps. And that phrase really hit me. I was in the very, very, very beginning of my bhakti yoga practice. And that was a sentence that really impressed me. Krishna always helps. Must be true. I was a newcomer. She was elderly devotee. So I took it in my heart, and with this confidence, I started to do devotional service as a Sankirtan devotee. And of course, sometimes it was easy, sometimes it was not. I don't want to talk about only Sankirtan, but if you allow me, I will just say something about it, because it's a wonderful service. One thing that is depriving us of the capability to do Sankirtan or whatever service we are doing among the Bhakti Yoga practice is envy. So this is why the people, they see this duality in Krishna, that is partial or impartial, because they are envious, actually. Oh, welcome to the club. Here, everybody's envious, besides me, of course. This is how the people think in the material world. Is that correct? We are here because of that. We are here because we are envy of Krishna. We want to be Krishna. Okay, I am God. Serve me. And as much servant as I have, the more happy I will be. Wrong. Wrong. You can try, but the result will be as it is written in the Holy Scriptures. Only when we are looking towards Krishna and try to please him, then we are pleased. Then we are happy. You can try to believe. Of course, you are all trying, but this is just for the sake of saying that. So the envy, we are envious. So Srila Prabhupada, among the book distribution, he was emphasizing the competition. And of course, we are envious. And the competition, what does usually, is increasing the enviousness, right? And about this, I want to tell you something that I heard some years ago. It was a lecture in '84. I was not present. I was listening to the tape over and over by His Holiness Somaka Maharaj, my first initiation spiritual master. Then he left his body, and I took second initiation from His Holiness Bhattichara Maharaj. He was stressing the competition. It was a winter marathon in Italy. In '84. That was really a competition. Just to, maybe you don't know, I would just tell you that some devotee, they were selling the TV set of the parents to get, some little higher in the ranks. Someone, he sold an apartment. Said, okay, I'll put all the money in books and I will distribute very quickly them, and then I will be first. But this is not the way that Krishna sees the competition. This is material. And the spiritual is exactly the opposite. The spiritual is that we don't want us to be number one. we want to please Krishna by us being number one, which seems the same thing, but is exactly the opposite. So, Somaka Maharaj, he was saying, competition, the material competition is like a cycling race. You are, sometimes they are in a group, all the racers or the competitors, they are all in a group, and everybody wants to, go first and try to obstaculate the other, give the elbow, or pushing him or cutting the road in front of him like that, in order to be first. And he said, you're being amazed, but in the spiritual world, there's exactly the same thing. What do you mean? Yes, everybody wants to be first, but with a difference. When they are racing like mad, everyone is pushing the other. Everyone wants the other to be first, although they want to offer the best service. So this is the beauty of the spiritual competition. That in order to be first, you are facilitating the other devotees. Easy to say, difficult to put it in practice. So I was thinking over and over, how should I apply this principle, which is true, to the competition? So it came to my mind, Krishna gave me some intelligence, and I asked to a good friend of mine, why don't we go out together? That means not together as a team, but together in the sense that you are going right, I'm going left. At the end of the day, we will take the results, split it in two, whatever it is. If you did 4, I did 5, is 4.5 each. And in this way, we will put aside the envy. Why? Because each one of us wanted to do the best to facilitate the other. So this way was this was the way that I thought it would work in order to avoid enviousness in the competition. And it worked. I mean, we had amazing results in this period that we were doing this. And because, this was I just will tell you, if you allow me, a short story just to emphasize this point. One time we were in a city, not very big, and in the morning, it was a good morning for me. The last mantra I did a Bhagavatam set, and so I was kind of satisfied, although I should not have, because there is always room for improvement. But let's say I was satisfied with the result. And I saw my partner. He was running like mad. He was sweating like anything, although it was winter time. And he said, Prabhuji, I just ran like a mad. I couldn't find anybody. I gave only 58 books. The average for us was about 100 for the morning and more or less the same for the afternoon. So I said, Prabhuji, you're not the controller, sorry, I'm very sorry. He said, oh, don't worry. So we went to the place that we had decided for the afternoon. And actually, I was very exhausted and a little bit complacent of my result. So I said, oh, Prabhuji, I will take 20-minute nap. If you want, you can also take a nap with me. And he said, no, Prabhuji, I just feel too much guilt. I didn't reach my quota, so I will go out immediately. And guess what? Krishna reciprocated immediately. In 20 minutes, he was able to give out 3 Bhagavatam sets, one after the other. He came in the van, he just opened the van and said, wow, these people are fantastic. 3, sets in a row. So I just, okay. So we went out and the other 2 went out, and plus all the single books, and that was really something. Anyway, you will read more about this wonderful devotee in the book that will come out for Gaur Purnima about Sankirtan, that Krishna allowed me to compile, and there are all the principles of all, a lot of, or some of the principle of Bhakti Yoga explained through the Sankirtan stories. I hope you will enjoy it. And so this is how we were beating this envy. Although it's not easy to do that. We have to work every day. We have a very good ally, our japa, and our books, and our service. And most of all, the service of Sankirtan. I'm not partial because I'm a Sankirtan devotee. Don't think about it. But because it's just a matter of fact. You just think about it. Vegetarianism, the easiest thing to become, become a vegetarian is not a big deal, But, at least in my experience, when I'm preaching about vegetarianism to other people, then I become more convinced, although I am convinced. So in the same way, when we are giving this knowledge to others, Krishna is very pleased with us, extremely pleased, and he gives us the understanding within the heart how to go back home, back to Godhead. Tejam satata yuktanam, bhajatam pritipurvakam. Those who are always devoted and worship unto me with love, I gave the understanding by which they come to me. Sorry if I read it, but I'm not familiar with reminding English. I'm not familiar about reminding many things, but, because it's not my mother language. So, Krishna, when we are giving Krishna to others, Krishna is revealing to ourselves. This is the principle. So, Sankirtan is the way to do it. Try to believe. And with this, I will end this lecture. And I will ask you if you have any questions or comments or something to add, maybe. My teacher is asking a question. Mahaprabhu Gaura Prabhu Ki Jai. The devotee that is asking the question, I take a little bit to introduce him. He is a very wonderful devotee, a great scholar, and he helped me really a lot, also a Sankirtan devotee, a lot when I had to take second initiation. I'm a little, hello? Is anybody there? And he really helped me. He really helped me with his skills. Thank you.
Can you please tell us the story about your dream? You dreamed Srila Prabhupada, and after that, every day, ever since, you gave 100 Mahabig books every day.
Should I? This is the... Actually, this is the peak of my book. The last story. Anyway, okay, I guess I have to tell it. It was winter marathon. Things were very tough. They gave me my spot was 70 kilometers from where we were. We were in a very nice apartment, but after 1 week, I practically finished the city where I was because it was raining every day very heavily. And plus, I had other two big problems. The one that I couldn't sleep because my mattress was extremely uncomfortable. And I asked, please, can I have another one? I said, you're just a spoiled boy, what do you think you are? So as a newcomer, I didn't say a word. I said, oh, maybe I have to purify not sleeping every night and go out at 12 hours a day. So I accept that. And the cherry on the cake, or the icing on the cake, was we had a guest. And he was so nice with me, so compassionate. He was always complaining about everything I said, and he was criticizing me, for everything I said. Everything. So, it was difficult in Sankirtan, raining heavily every day. The last 2 or 3 days I had to drive, to find some shelter in some buildings. At the end of the week, I was just destroyed. And I told the temple president, I will go back to the temple. The temple was in a bigger city. I said, at least there, I didn't mention about the association because I didn't want to make it worse, making some aparad, Vaishnava aparad. But, altogether, I was very discouraged because when I came back, always this mumbling. And then I opened my mind with the devotees there, and this also didn't help. So I was very discouraged, and I said, I want to go to the temple. And the temple prince said, no, you're alone, you have to cook, and you will not have the precious association of the devotees. So I said, okay. And anyway, he said, laughing, because he knew that he was the one who told me, you are a spoiled boy. He said, oh, you just go back and sleep on it. So I went to bed and I was worried, I want only my result. Am I worried about, Sankirtan really, or am I just looking, myself if I am comfortable like that? I was very confused. So some way or other I went to sleep, and I was in a class. And Srila Prabhupada was on the Vyasasana. I said, wow, I'm listening to Srila Prabhupada in person. And as soon as I thought that Srila Prabhupada paused, he looked at me and waved to come over. And I thought, well, Srila Prabhupada doesn't know me. For sure he's asking the devotee behind me. So I turned back. And everybody around me were smiling and said, no, he's calling you. So I stood up. I was puzzled, didn't know what to think, a little scared, a little embarrassed. So I went, and Srila Prabhupada told me to sit on his left. There was a coconut mat, like the one we have in the front, a little smaller, in the front of the entrance of the temple. And then he looked at me, and he put his left hand on my head, and he said, thank you very much for what you are doing. You are doing a very good job. Thank you very much. And at the much, I jumped out of the bed. I said, I didn't say it because everybody was asleep. But I was yelling inside of me, I got the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, And I was sure that from that day on, no matter what, everything would be going in the right way. And actually it was like that. I continued there, and the problems were still there. The mattress was the same, and the association the same. But by the mercy of Krishna, I continued the marathon. That was a huge success. Every day when I was thinking about this dream every day. I don't think it was a dream actually, but it was. It was not. But anyway, for me it was real. It is real still. And I knew that I had, the hand of the master, of the masters on my head. So everything could go good or even better, doesn't matter, It's like sometimes the people ask me, in Sankirtan, because they say, how are you, just to introduce. And they said, and how are you? I said, well, sometimes good and sometimes very good. Depends on the days. And they're, that's interesting. It's not a joke. It's true. It's true. That's how I feel. Sometimes good, sometimes very good. Hare Krishna. Any other comments or questions? Mataji. One more Sankirtan story. Well, I wanted to mention this just because it's related to the topic of today. It's not really a Sankirtan story, but it is related to it. I was in a very big competition with the Mataji in Italy. She was always number one. And when I happened to appear, then she was not anymore. And her spiritual master was, he is His Holiness Tamar Krishna Maharaj, with whom I have, fortunately, very personal and deep experiences. Little personal. And we were accompanying him to the he was taking a train, I think, to Switzerland or something like that. And she was a little furious, because I was a new bhakta, and she is elderly devotee, and she was always number one. And so she said, Guru Maharaj, I have a request. You know how Tamar Krishna Maharaj responded. Sometimes he just looked at you. Said, this Bhakta Antonio, he's always beating me. Can you pray Krishna that he doesn't beat me anymore? Maharaj became very intense. He was not joking anymore. I mean, he had a half a smile because he was dealing with a lady. But he was very serious and he said, I cannot do that. This is not possible. Like Jananivas Prabhu was stressing in one of these classes, we have to do the endeavor to get the mercy. Like, you take bath in the Ganges and you are liberated, right? But this means that, the door, I'm just repeating his words, the door of liberation are open, but the step to go out from the material world, you have to do it. That was the meaning of. So, with this I will end. Thank you very much for your mercy and the patience. And Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Sankirtan Yagya ki jai, Shinitai Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna.